Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are returning, hey, what's up? Today is another Come With Me movie review, and we are going to see Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I am so excited. I feel like this has been like the longest time coming. I'm so stoked. I can't hide it. I'm really excited to see the movie. I loved the books as kids, still have the books. I even bought a box set with like the new illustrator, which the illustrations are not nearly as scary as the original ones, but I love that book series so much. Definitely an integral part of my horror journey leading me to where I am today. So seeing it turned into a movie is pretty freaking awesome. Of course, as has been the talk of this movie, the stories are based on the book series of the same name, famously penned by Alvin Schwartz and hauntingly illustrated by Stephen Gammell. Stories are scary enough for a kid's book, but it's the illustrations that give you nightmares. Like the fact that those types of illustrations are in children's books like just baffles me, but it's amazing. And the newer illustrations are nice too. They're just not nearly as disturbing. The movie is rated PG-13, and I know that some people were worried about that. I've seen in like a couple of different Facebook groups or movie groups people are talking about the fact that it's rated PG-13. I particularly have no problem with that. I think it actually fits the source material quite well, because I work in a bookstore and those books, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, sit in the children's section, particularly with the young readers books, and young readers books is an age group anywhere between 6 and like 12 or 13. So they're kids books. Quite frankly, I would have been more concerned if it was rated R, because I feel like that it would have taken away from the spirit of the books, which are children's books. So many parents, like not even just recently, like months and months before, like ever since the movie was announced, so many parents have come in, at least to my location. People have been coming in a lot for those books to then like read to their kids. And I'm glad it's rated PG-13, and I really hope that I see at least like a couple of like kids or tweens with their parents seeing this movie, because I feel like this movie plus the books obviously are just going to create a new generation of horror fans, and it's going to be something that these kids remember seeing this movie and reading the stories and being terrified like we all were, minus the movie. So I'm really excited for it. I have no problem with it being PG-13. So all right, so let's go to the movies. So directed by Andre Øvredal, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark goes as such. The shadow of the Bellows family has loomed large in the small town of Mill Valley for generations. It's in a mansion that young Sarah Bellows turns her tortured life and horrible secrets into a series of scary stories. These terrifying tales soon have a way of becoming all too real for a group of unsuspecting teens who stumble upon Sarah's spooky home. So I just came out of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Don't worry, this will be spoiler free because this is going up the same day I see it. I'm gonna try this out like I normally go see the movies on Thursday night and or Friday. This is Friday. Post them same day. So we'll see how that goes. You guys would have heard my expectations of the movie. Like, I was excited. Like many people, I grew up reading these books as a kid, and I gotta say, this movie was exactly what I was expecting. I knew it was PG-13 going in. I appreciate that it was PG-13, and it just feeling of the movie. It takes place in 1968. Of course, it opens up on Halloween, and so everything is just it's just one of those movies. It just I just loved it so much. It definitely has the feeling of one of those movies that you grew up watching that gave you Halloween vibes. For me, that would be like Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus. Obviously it's not as tame as those movies, but you know the feeling. whenever you used to watch them as a kid, they were just so magical because of like that warm, fuzzy, like October Halloween feeling it gave you. This movie has that feeling, and it's just, I'm kind of jealous for like all the teens and tweens that are gonna see this movie. There were a couple of tweens like with their parents in the movie that I just came out of, and I was really happy to see that. I'm kind of jealous of them because they're gonna get to grow up not only reading these books obviously, but seeing this movie, and just like they're gonna be horror fans, I can tell. I quite enjoyed it. I had a great time watching it. I thought it stayed true to the creepiness of the books, and I didn't like particularly like reread every single story in preparation for this. I kind of just wanted to go in and watch the movies, and my memory served me pretty well. Like as the stories were coming through, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I remember this one, I remember this one. It's so awesome to see them come to life. I thought like I don't know what you want to call them, like the monsters, the ghosts, whatever. Really well done. I feel like there was some good mixture of like practical and CGI. Like seriously, they brought Stephen Gammell's illustrations to life. Like they looked so good, just like I remember them from in that book, like as like just being utterly disturbing and terrifying. I really loved our main character, Stella. Loved not only that she was she's an aspiring writer, but she writes scary stories herself, and she's a horror fan. They didn't throw it in your face, which I really love. I feel like sometimes when you get a female character in a movie that likes something that like girls are not supposed to like horror movies and scary stuff, they kind of throw it in your face. Like they make sure that you're aware, like, hey, this girl loves horror, she's different, she's quirky. And Stella was just like a normal girl. I really appreciated that. And again, I kind of feel jealous to like any like tween girls that love scary stuff that are gonna watch this movie and be like, ah, she's awesome. The only thing I guess I can say that, I mean, not that I necessarily like didn't like it, I was expecting it. It is kind of a jump scare fest. It's a PG-13 movie, and the stories, if you've read the books, there are a few stories that you're meant to perform, and it gives you notes for the person who's reading it to like jump scare the audience. So I was expecting it to be like that. Do I particularly like jump scares? No, but I feel like they mixed it up really well with good like creeps. Like they really build up the tension before they jump scare you. So I mean, I was fine with that, and like I said, I was expecting it. I feel like this was really like the perfect movie to kick off August, because even though it's still the height of summer, like literally this is the hottest month in Florida. So it's like, but I feel like August, especially for us, it kicks off spooky season. I feel like this was the perfect movie to kick off spooky season, even though I'm literally melting right now. As a fan of the books, it warmed my heart and made me feel all the warm fuzzies and all the nostalgia, and they treated it well. I think they treated it well. They really could have messed it up easily, and I think they treated the stories with respect and treated them well. And yeah, so I'm confident in giving it a 4.5 out of 5. I had a great time watching it. It met my expectations. Was it a perfect movie? Of course not, but it hit most of the marks for me. So on IMDb, as of right now, like 1:30 in the afternoon on Friday, the 6.6 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has an 81% critic score, and that's out of 89 reviews, and a 71% audience score, and that's out of 231 reviews. And then finally on Letterboxd, it has an even 3 out of 5. A good number of you guys have watched it. I don't know why. A good number of you guys have watched it already, and it looks like, oh, definitely, wow, I'm surprised. A real mixed bag. I see a 1.5 star, a 1 star, 2.5 stars, all the way up to like 4 stars. Like, Anthony from Something Ghoulish gave it 4 stars. Jimmy Champagne gave it 4 stars. If you've already seen Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, please let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. As this is going up on Friday, please don't spoil anything for anyone in the comments, or if you're going to, please give a fair spoiler warning. And if you're delving into the comments, just be warned, there might be spoilers. Yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, please, for the sake of my melting face. Subscribe if you're new here, become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video, even though it doesn't always work. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye! This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed on the left-hand side of the screen. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link that is in the description of this video. No pressure, but it's there if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye!